Hey everybody, it's Miss W here to talk to you about a new artist and portrait drawing. As you can see, today I'm wearing a flower crown. And I've seen many of you wearing flower crowns or headbands before. Maybe your friends wear them, and this is kind of a popular thing. But the artist that we are going to be learning about today made the flower crown popular before it was a filter. This artist's name is Frida Kahlo, and we are going to learn about her life and her portrait art today. A portrait is a drawing or painting of a person, and Frida was famous for making lots and lots of self-portraits. Your art challenge at the end of this video is going to make a portrait of yourself or another fierce female in your life. Let's learn a little bit more about Frida and portrait drawing. Frida Kahlo was a fierce female. She was known to be one of Mexico's greatest portrait artists. She created many bright and colorful portraits with lots of elements of nature in them. She was born in Mexico, and as a young child, she was ill with the disease polio. This caused her to have to stay home a lot. When Frida got older, she was in a bus accident that injured her and kept her in her bed for a long time. This is where she learned how to paint. She even painted on her body cast and found ways to paint while laying down. She painted herself because that was the subject she could see when she was home alone a lot of the time. She also included things that she loved in her paintings, like animals and things from nature. Frida also had a garden and loved to wear flowers as a crown on her head and as designs on her clothes. A lot of her portraits included the flower crown and other things from nature and lots of bright, fun colors. She was such a fierce artist who endured a lot of things and still created amazing art. Alright, now that we know more about Frida's artwork and her story, let's get in and make some of our own portrait artwork. I am going to be drawing my mom, who is an awesome female in my life, and I think I'm going to do a double portrait of us together. When making a portrait, you need to look at the person you are drawing and observe them either in person or maybe with a picture. So I'm going to look at a picture of my mom and I and observe our eyes, our eyebrows, our hairstyle, and then do my best to draw those things that I see.
All right, so the materials that I have today are just white paper to draw on. I will be starting drawing with a pencil, and then I will go over all of my lines with a Sharpie. I also found, just for my mom and I, our skin tone, I just found a skin tone crayon. And then everything else I'm going to use watercolor paint. So I have water here and paint brushes. And then I might be adding a little bit of a collage. So I grabbed some scissors and I'll need some glue because I'm going to glue some things on to create a frame around our portrait. Now these are the materials that I have and that I'm going to be using. But you can use any materials that you want to add color. It could be crayons, markers, colored pencils, a different kind of paint. Whatever you have on hand will work just fine. The first step of portrait drawing is drawing the shape of a face. This is just a simple U shape. Since I'm drawing two portraits, I'm going to draw two U shapes. I'm not going to finish the top of my head because everyone's hairline is different. My two U shapes kind of are turned towards each other, like the picture that I'm looking at. Next, I'm going to draw two straight lines down from my U shape to create my neck and to show my shirt. So you can see that my shirt that I'm wearing is a V-neck, and I'm not drawing all of it because my hair covers it up. And there's my mom's V-neck shirt as well. Next, you need to look at where the person that you are drawing's hair goes across their forehead. Is it straight? Does it curve? Does it go close to their eyebrows? So I'm drawing the shape around my face, and then I go to my part, draw the top of my head, and then some waves and textures. Make sure to draw your hair as a shape that goes in front of your shoulders and behind your shoulders.
And now I'll go ahead and draw my mom's hair. So I start by how it frames one side of her face, then I find her part, draw the other side, and then the top of her head, and then the rest of the shape of her hair. After you draw the shape, then you can draw in a few extra lines for strands of hair. Next, I'm going to draw eyebrows. Just remember that the eyebrows are close to the middle of the face, not way up top where the hair starts. So I'm drawing curves for eyebrows, a curve for the top of my eye, and then a circle for the shape of my eye. A very simple line and curve for my nose, and then a smile. Remember that as you are drawing, make sure to look at who or the picture that you are drawing. Notice how thick the eyebrows are. Notice if they arch really high or if they're straight. Notice how big the eyes are. I have really squinty eyes, so I make long lines for my eyes and smaller circles for the center. So really observe the person you are looking at and draw them to make them look like them. Keep it simple though. Lots of small curves for the nose and the eyes. And I have a very kind of Mona Lisa-like smile, so it's just kind of a long smile line. And then add any other fun details that make you or the person you're drawing look like you. Next, Frida was known for including magical things in her artwork or things that she loved, like her animals. Another way that she made her artwork super special was by adding beautifully colored frames to her portrait drawings. So that's what I'm gonna do. Finally, when creating your portrait, you want to feel something when you look at it. So think about how you feel when you're drawing this portrait of this special person and what colors and designs represent that feeling. I drew a heart as a frame for my portrait. Now I'm starting to add color. I'm just using a crayon to fill in her skin and then watercolor paints to paint my hair brown and my mom's hair kind of a dark blonde color. So I use a brown with a lot of water to start hers and then a little bit of yellow because she has lighter hair than me. I also use paint to kind of make our cheeks look rosy over top of our skin tone and paint our lips. Now, in the background or my frame, I'm going to be inspired by Frida Kahlo's bright colors that she uses in her art and kind of use colors that I might see in flowers that I really like. And I know that my mom really likes the colors yellow and orange, so that's also why I'm including that. I also made a design on my mom's dress and colored in my dress too.
And you could totally stop here once you've drawn, maybe added a background and some color, you could stop there. But if you're really into Frida and inspired by her flowers and her flower crown, I have one more idea for you that you could add to this or maybe make as a separate thing to go along with this Frida inspired artwork. So let's check it out.
One last idea for you is to take some paper. Here I had an abstract artwork that I was done with that I'm going to fold and overlap and cut some kind of wiggly flower shapes out. I can use these flower shapes to decorate my background by gluing them onto them, or I could also make a flower crown with them. I would also use some green to create leaves behind them as well. In my second option here, if you drew just one portrait, this might be a little bit easier to create that flower crown. So I'm cutting the same things out and placing the flowers on the head of the portrait that I drew. Also notice the background in this picture is drawings of things that this person loves or maybe does for me or things that I appreciate about this person. So that's another option of things that you could draw in the background of your portrait inspired by Frida Kahlo and a fierce female in your life. Now, I hope you had fun learning about the awesome fierce female artist Frida. And while creating your portrait, remember that drawing people isn't easy. You might need to practice for a little bit before finalizing your portrait drawing. It took me a couple tries to draw my portrait, so don't worry if that happens to you. Just do your best and keep going and persevere. Know that whatever fierce female you decide to draw, they are going to love that you took the time to create art about them. I hope that Frida inspired you to create some awesome, magical portraits of some great people in your life. Good luck!